All right, welcome back to another episode of Cultural Point Abridged. Today we're going to talk about Duke. It's been a rough off season for them last year, coming off a 9-5 season in which they won the ACC. Hard to think that was possible. It was kind of a lot of people said the doomsday scenario for the playoff and everything going on, and they ended up pulling it out. Ended up beating Virginia. I'm sure no one in the ACC meeting rooms besides Duke was happy with that because it kind of messed them up a little bit. They had a chance to get Virginia in there if they would have won into the playoff. So with that being said, you have Mensah leaving. You had backup Henry Bellin leaving for Missouri State. So they were kind of left last second having to go try to get something at quarterback. They bring in Walker Eggett, who is coming off an ACL injury from San Jose State. He last year threw for 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. If he's not good to go, you have redshirt freshman and Dan Mahan and a Prince ex-Princeton quarterback and Blaine Hippa. So quarterback options are very, very thin. It's gonna be kind of a an off season for them, so to speak. I don't expect a whole lot from them. You do have Nate Shepard. He rushed for over 1,100 yards last year. Had 11 touchdowns as well. So everything should be running through the run game this year. You just don't expect a whole lot across the board. The tight end last year and Jeremiah Hazley. He had 6 touchdowns last year, so that's a good mark too. A good option for the whoever's at quarterback. To have a good running back and a good tight end is always nice to have. They have some transfers coming in at receiver, but nothing that stands off too much. It's Charlotte transfer, Penn transfer. You could bring in a Jonah Burton from Baylor, so some higher level experience, but not a whole lot. Defense has to kind of improve, which is crazy to say under Manny Diaz. He's always been a good defensive coordinator, defensive minded guy. They finished 119th in total defense, so you need to improve on that, especially with a inexperienced, kind of thrown together offense. You have Luke Mercott at linebacker. You got some good pieces in secondary. You got Kamari Robinson and Landon Callahan. They bring in Patrick Smith Young at safety, kind of a smaller safety. He's only 5'9". Used to seeing those 6-foot guys, but he's coming over from North Texas. Which they had good, pretty good team last year at North Texas. So bringing him in just kind of stir up some of that back into the secondary. Don't expect a whole lot out of this Duke this year. Again, coming off gotta say it again, ACC champion Duke with a 9-5 season last year. It's gonna be a decrease this year. They start off with Tulane, who beat them last year. Then they got to go at Illinois, who beat them last year. Then they got Stanford. They got William and Mary. Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Virginia, Boston College, North Carolina State, Miami, Clemson, Wake Forest. That November is rough. At NC State, at Miami, home against Clemson, at Wake Forest. That's really rough. It's a really tough schedule. Outside of William and Mary and maybe Stanford. See how they do this year. It's really gonna be really tough for them to get going, especially with everything they've gone through off season wise. Um, so gosh, probably looking at a 4 to 6 win season. I hate giving a bad review, but I'm thinking that it's gonna be um, subpar, sub 500 year for them. Maybe they prove me wrong. Maybe they're maybe Egate gets in there and he looks really great. Everybody's healthy. The pieces gel. But right now I'm looking at sub 500, 4 to 6 win season for this year.